Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
Do the folks on Facebook Live know that they can leave messages?
You guys can leave messages.
Talk to us, folks.
Talk to us.
Jump in the middle of this. Interrupt.
Talk to me.
Interrupt the podcast for the audience. Because what happens is then people start to learn as you interrupt it. You can actually be part of the content of the Biofriendly podcast. We don't really tell any. We don't promote the show. We get a lot of.
We do promote the show. You say this every time.
We don't promote
You say
the
this
show.
every time. You say we don't promote the show. You are incorrect.
Nobody knows that we have a show.
We promote the show constantly.
We do?
Yes.
Where?
All the time.
What?
All the places.
When?
Facebook, Twitter,
Really?
Instagram.
No, we don't promote the show. This is a lie.
This is a lie.
Nobody knows we do this show. No, somehow a lot of people listen to the show. A lot of you are listening to the show. So we wanted to just let you know, in case you forgot, we'll open up before we open up the episode. No, I guess we have to open up the episode or they weren't not going to hear it.
Right.
This is why I've been screwing it up. I've been telling people on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live and not on the podcast.
Yes, you have been.
That if you're listening to the podcast and you want to get involved, we don't accept phone calls anymore. You know, I've heard a lot of phone calls, but often we say, hold your calls, call later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because we don't actually accept phone calls.
No, not anymore.
Not any longer.
No.
But we do have Elise here. Say hi, Elise.
Hello.
Yeah, Elise is here, and Elise helps us out. She's kind of our show producer here. Mm-hmm. And so, if you are joining us while we record it live, which Jacob will now, if you follow us on YouTube or on Facebook, you'll get a little notification. He'll let you know when we're going to be recording. About a day before. And then you can find out. You can join in, jump in, and you can talk to us as the podcast goes on, and we'll rock it with you.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
You got it right.
Because we promote the show.
We promote the show
very heavily.
So
very efficiently, very effectively.
Would you say that this is the beginning of the actual podcast? Are we starting now?
Well,
or earlier? Right when you sat down?
If we start now, then nobody's going to hear. No one who's listening to the podcast is going to hear.
I guess I got to include all that stuff.
What I just said.
Oh, okay. I was going to delete it. I'll remove it later,
important.
guys. Thanks for. No, it's not. It's not. Anyway, he doesn't.
Do you not want people to join us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live?
Of course I do.
You're an anti-Facebook YouTube Live. Unbelievable. I am hosting this show with a monster.
He is.
A monster.
A monster. A monster. No, here we are, guys. We're up and live. We're doing yet another classic OG gang. Just us. No guests. This is raw.
Original goats.
Yes, original goats. Biofriendly.
Greatest of all time environmental, earth sciences specifically shot in this building.
Yes.
Podcast.
Yes.
That's where the greatest.
Biofriendly podcast raw.
Raw.
Well, because didn't they? I feel like in wrestling there was a subcategory that was always like WWF Raw or like
because
Def
Eddie
Jam.
Murphy would do his
Raw.
So he had his Raw album, right?
Yeah.
Which was just him with no clothes on.
Yes, parental advisory. This podcast about to get real.
About to get wild.
Yeah,
about to get wild, folks.
No, but I'm trying to think if there's anything we wanted to cover up front before we really.
We got a message.
We did. Tell us what's up.
So we're
From
gonna.
YouTube.
This is proof that what you say could end up on a show if Elise thinks it should. It
says, "Hello, boys, love Pup."
Oh, Pup!
Pup
is here. Thank you for joining us, Pup. She said she was going to pop by. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Pup Duffy is an awesome podcast host.
Yeah.
So we've retweeted her show many times, the CCC. So go check it out on our. We'll retweet again so you can follow her stuff as well.
Nice.
But yeah. So
and
welcome.
yeah, when you're listening, come join us. Come join us on the show as we're doing it live.
If you do see the good chances, Noel, there's people out there that are smarter than we are.
No, they're not.
Well. Definitely me.
No, yes, they are smarter than us. Yes, what do they do, these intelligent people?
Those intelligent people out there could be chiming in and correcting our
grammar,
our information that's wrong. They could be coming in and telling us what's.
We're never wrong, Jacob.
You're right. This is true.
We don't correct ourselves like every single show from the mistake we made the show before.
I know. We try to keep it straight. But anyway. Welcome to the show, the Biofriendly Podcast. Let's dive in, shall we?
Let's dive.
Okay.
Literally dive into the swimming pool
of the Olympics. You guys, today we are talking about the Olympics because they're right around the corner.
They are.
Yeah.
It's happening.
July 23rd in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And this one's unique.
It's a crusher.
What is?
It's okay, so... For me, it's a crusher, right? Because if you are a city and you win the Olympics, like you win the bid, you get to have Olympics in your city.
Yeah.
the great thing about it, the wonderful thing about it is you're about to really help your entire community. Everybody who lives in your city is about to get this huge economic inflow. Businesses will get better. You can pay all this money for new stadiums, new infrastructure, new subways, new metro, new roads, new everything in order to make the city better because you know you have all this money coming in for the Olympics.
Yeah.
Tokyo is in an emergency lockdown because of COVID.
Right. It's still in lockdown
They're
situation.
not going to
there.
have guests coming to. They're not going to have people watching the Olympics. So now this is really, to me, it's really sad because they spent the money. They got all the new stuff. It's all ready to go.
Right.
Nobody's gonna. They're not going to get the commerce. They're not going to get. It's like they're not going to get what you're supposed to get out of it in order to pay for everything that they just did. It's kind of a disaster.
Yeah. So that's the bummer run.
Yeah.
Is that one? It was supposed to happen in 2020.
Right.
And now it's in 2021, which is interesting, by the way.
Yeah.
If you go to the official Olympics website, it still says at the top 2020 Tokyo. Mm-hmm. So they haven't updated the date.
No, I think they're calling it the 2020 Tokyo, but it's just taking place in 2021.
So we're just going to live in the past on this one? We're going to just pretend?
They don't want future generations to say, why is it 2021 when every other time it happens every 4 years? So I think that it'll have a little asterisk, a little footnote.
Oh, I thought it was just because of merchandising. They printed up everything.
Spaceballs, the toilet paper.
It said Tokyo 2020. They're like, we're not reprinting all of these.
No, they've already made the hats.
Everything says 2020.
They're not going to redo it.
Yeah.
The Tokyo scarves are done.
Yeah.
The collective coins, forget it. They're not going to redo it all.
They're not going to redo it all.
No, I think it's just because it is the 2020 Olympics. They just postponed it.
Yeah. Okay. So they're not living in the past. They're just like, let's just accept the fact that we lost the year and we're going to still say it was
They did the same thing for the Euro Cup and the Copa America. Those are two soccer tournaments, very big soccer tournaments that just finished. And those were both the 2020 versions of because they happened normally in 2020, but they had to postpone them for a year.
I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start just like throwing 2020 on random events.
This is Jacob's 43rd birthday.
2020. Exactly. Yeah. It's going to throw back. But no, one of the main reasons I wanted to cover the Olympics is, I don't know if everybody was aware, but there was a huge initiative to make this a pretty sustainable Olympics.
That's terrific.
Yeah. And so some of the stuff that I'm reading...
Do you know what's the most sustainable thing about it?
What?
Nobody's going to
be there. I know. And so there's most of the articles are all going, yay, they did a really good job. This is all great. But of course...
It will go down in history as the most sustainable Olympics in history.
Because nobody's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But they did a lot of efforts. And of course, there's an article out there that's like, it's not good enough. You know.
Oh, please. We got it. Yes, we got to hear all that.
So we start on the good.
My favorite thing is to make fun of people who are mean.
Yeah, right?
Let's do it.
So when I saw the article, I was like, oh, okay, this is, classic environmentalism is that you have somebody who kind of poo-poos the positivity.
It's maybe not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I like violet crumbles and donuts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And you also there's something else that you really like.
Sausage rolls.
Sausage rolls.
I love those.
Yeah, and I feel like
Coca-Cola, but I can never have it because it's so bad for me.
Yeah, I know.
But I love it.
It's a real treat. It's a real treat. Okay, so
I like some other things.
You like a lot of things. A few.
My children are okay.
My kids
my wife's decent.
good. I love my family.
Yeah.
All right, but let's dive into sustainability at the Tokyo Olympics. Okay,
yes, let's do it.
So I will start out with, did you guys know that the medals at this Olympics?
Yes, they recycle them from old computer parts.
Yes, you knew it. You knew it. So this is the medals. Where did it say? Let me get to that exact point there. Hold on. Man.
I'm going to vamp and tell a story while you look for the story.
I know. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
For this year's Olympic and Paralympic Games, about 5,000 medals have been made from recycled small electronic devices that people across Japan donated for the project.
Yeah.
The Olympics state that this year's Olympics are the first to use recycled metals and the first Olympics to get locals involved in the process.
Yeah.
This is the first time that you've crowdsourced the medals, which I think that's kind of even more meaningful.
It's so rad.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's something I think a lot of people don't realize is that in your old computers and in all these devices, one of the reasons they cost a bit of money is because the processor in particular has quite a bit of gold in it. There's actual, they have a bunch of gold-plated little ends in order to make it more conductive and stuff. I don't know the details totally of that. But basically, it's there's a ton of precious metal in, not a ton of, but there's some in there. It's certainly a notable quantity of precious metals in your computers and in your phones and all that kind of stuff.
It just goes to show you that the people that are marketing and advertising your computers and your electronics aren't fixated on like making that the selling point.
Well, it's because it's for you to get it. It's so hard to like you have to be a chemist basically to get it back out and to used into something. Like it's really cool that they used precious metals that were recycled in order to do it.
Yeah.
But it probably cost quite a bit of energy and
it was
time
a lot of time and energy.
to get the metals out of it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat, and it's repurposing them, and it's not having them go into a landfill, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
But it certainly was it's probably not. It's still not necessarily worth it.
Right.
Like
yeah.
It's cheaper to mine it and that kind of stuff.
Well, isn't it the lesson here though?
Yeah.
Is that the sometimes the harder thing, the more time consuming thing is the better thing.
Yeah.
Whereas the cheap, fast thing is why we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
So go Olympics.
Right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was very, very cool. The trays that also hold the metals are made from a recyclable thermoplastic polymer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Cool, right?
Yeah.
And then also, this is cool, they're 3D printed podiums made out of recycled donated plastic waste.
That's rad.
That's rad, right?
That is rad.
This is all recycled, upcycled, reused plastic for the podiums.
That's amazing.
Right? So, and then...
They're showing us the way, Jacob.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. So... and then other cool thing, and then I'll do
we should 3D print recycled chairs that we should be watching the show on.
I think that's a great
watching
idea.
the show on?
Yeah.
Doing the show? Do we host the show?
Yeah.
Hosting the show.
Yeah, hosting the show. What I was going to say is 3D printers are neat. And I think that when they first came out, I was like, I don't get it. Why would you need that? And then I saw what people can do with them, and it's kind of remarkable.
Yeah.
So I think we should get a 3D printer.
Let's get a 3D printer.
I just think it was so cool.
Just print random stuff.
Let's just start getting recycled plastics and print things for people.
Like if we need something, you just use it from, I don't know. It's one of our past episodes.
Have a cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of our past episodes where it was that Fix Things one, I remember
have
that.
a coat hanger.
There you go.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The one about Fix Things, it was that there are local places that you can go to where a lot of them have invested in ways to fix your electronics or things at home because they can 3D print a component or something that you're missing.
Yeah.
And so you can get it up and running again. So I always thought that was really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty soon they'll be 3D printing your bones, Jacob.
Yep. You think so?
They'll be replaced. They'll make a replica of Jacob.
Another me?
An exact replica.
There's always an instance on these shows where there's like a potential for me to be duplicated.
Yeah.
And I love it and I hate it.
I'm trying. I'm trying to get a second Jacob to put in the seat and see so the audience can see what it's like to have two Jacobs talking to you at once during the Biofriendly podcast.
Oh my gosh, I don't think anybody needs that. Okay, so, and then the last thing that I thought was really cool, and then I'll list kind of some of the initiatives that the Olympics has, and then we'll get into the wah, wah, wah article. Okay, so another thing they did is they have cardboard beds.
Cardboard beds?
Yes.
Beds
yes,
like that the homeless live in?
Yeah, no, it's like a structure. I am trying to see if I can find a picture of it right here, and I could try to put it up here on the side. Oh, it's
was
on
that
this side.
insensitive of me? I apologize.
No, look, right there. So the structure of the bed. I'll try to put this up there.
Yeah,
the structure of the bed
right
itself
here,
looks like maybe kind of like an IKEA simple, you've unfolded a couple moving boxes and it's made the base and the surface. And because it has all these points, they could put a very simple mattress with a blanket and pillow. So it's not luxury. This isn't, the athletes are not going to stay.
Well, the first thing I thought of was, do you remember in Living Color?
Yes, of course. You were thinking of I
was thinking of Damon Wayans' character,
right?
Where he would convert a cardboard box into a new home.
Yes, absolutely.
With and the natural adhesive was his snot.
Yeah.
And he put it, and so you said that, and I was like, cardboard.
But I think that
it's interesting.
The adhesive with this is not snot.
Okay.
These look like boxes, so they look like they've been journalists look at cardboard beds for the Tokyo Olympics. I wanted to see if there was any other details about it, but the cardboard bed itself, it looks like it's pretty well made. Oh, there's another cool picture of it. See right there? A recyclable cardboard bed and mattress for athletes are seen during a media tour. So this is a creative way.
That's incredibly creative,
right?
I want how much cardboard? How are they doing this?
I don't know.
Every time I've ever sat on a cardboard box, I've crushed it.
Yeah, but it looks like that this thing is really braced very well, right?
It is.
And these are athletes.
Yeah,
some of these folks are big folks.
Powerful people.
Powerful, heavy.
Powerful people.
Sturdy,
Yes.
strong.
Yes.
And they, they got the guys throwing the giant metal ball. And they're
And
like.
ladies.
And ladies.
Everybody throws the metal ball.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of.
That's not like only one side of the other event. That's everybody.
That's everybody. So all the people throwing.
Same with javelin.
Is that called shot put?
That's
Yeah.
called shot put. Yeah.
Shot put, right?
Yeah.
Man. Shot put. That's just a wild sport, isn't it? It's just the idea of this giant, heavy ball and just throwing
You
as far
just
as you can.
spin and go. Get your momentum and get it out.
Shot put.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I should.
What's amazing is how far they actually put that shot.
Oh no, it's unbelievable. I used to go to the Scottish festival down by the Queen Mary, and they have tons of different activities and events that you go watch in a field, like those giant log throws where they've got those, where the guy has to
I love
balance
those.
and they
where
have to
where
flip
they're
it.
balancing and they're running along with the log and they toss it up.
And then they have to
between their
flip it
legs.
over. Like that's the
Yes.
whole goal is you have to lift this thing up. And it's really funny to watch because it doesn't look like it would be hard, but those pieces of wood are.
That's a tree.
It's a tree.
They're lifting up and moving a tree. These
Right.
people are absurd.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
when they pick up there's the tractor tires that they toss around when they go.
Yeah. That's like an Avengers workout.
Kidding me?
Huge.
It's absurd.
Absurd. Okay, so we have here's kind of the bullet points of what they were trying to do. Okay, the Olympics have set 5 sustainable themes. So this was all done with the Sustainable Development Goals. So they've been working with the UN.
Nice.
Yeah. So it said the committee's primary sustainability goal is to adhere to the UN 17 goals during the whole thing. So no poverty, affordable and clean energy, climate action, gender equality, and responsible consumption and production. So yay.
Nice.
Right?
That's great.
So the games plan to use renewable energy as much as possible and work towards zero carbon emissions. So they're using renewable energy for the whole dang thing.
Yeah, well, and Japan is well suited for that because they're ahead of the curve on that as it is.
Yeah.
So it's a little easier for them to do that.
Yeah.
Some other cities are going to be like, yeah, we're going to do it, and they won't.
And they won't do it.
Yeah, but Japan, I can't stress enough
Stress it.
how sad it is that people aren't going to be there for it because I think that it was probably going to be one of, if not the best Olympics ever. Seriously.
Maybe we should go. Might be easy to sneak in.
No one else is there. You just have to. We'd have to come in. It would be complicated.
Very complicated. Is this seat
We have
taken?
to get uniforms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We got to look like we work for the Olympics team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I accidentally print us up badges that say Tokyo 2021,
Yeah.
that'll be our
That's how you've been
giveaway.
caught.
No, we work here. And like, don't
that
you
doesn't
know?
say 2020.
2020.
You're wrong.
You're out of here.
Go
anyway.
back home.
Go back
And they don't even let you fly. They just throw you in the water and make you swim back.
Oh man, I am not prepared for that at all.
Get stuck in the canal.
That's right. Yeah, then you're swimming the wrong direction. I'm going home, and you end up in China, and you're like, oh, darn.
I wouldn't be able to tell east from west.
Yeah, right. Swimming that far. By the way, before I keep going with this, I see a couple more comments coming in. I just wanted to set
Derek Hagen.
Derek Hoggins here too.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Oh,
He
Derek's
says,
on Facebook.
Yeah, he says, hey.
Hey, Derek. Welcome.
Hey, Derek.
Welcome to the Biofriendly Live.
Derek and Richard.
I know, Richard,
Couple old
Derek,
friends popping
Pup.
on. This
It's
is great.
awesome.
And then Pup's here, of course, is amazing.
This is
Pup says Avengers.
Avengers. Oh yeah. I made it. You said the tire flip thing, and I said that's an Avengers workout, and of course, Pup was like, her ears perked up. She's like, Avengers.
She's our comic book buddy.
She's our Marvel fan.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
we geeked out over that on her show.
That's right.
So okay.
Oh,
So
we got another green paper products. Sorry.
Green
Green Paper Products has
Yes,
joined us. We
they're-
love Green Paper Products.
They're fantastic. We support a lot of the things that they post, and they do the same for us. They are
They
friends.
are friends of Biofriendly Planet.
Absolutely,
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is kind of like the most we've ever had in a lot. It's working, Noel.
I told you, stupid.
It's because we're not promoting it.
Yeah, right. It's 'cause
See,
we're
if we
not-
start promoting, people will come to the show. I've said this all along, Jacob. Why don't you promote the show?
Dadgummit. Dadgummit. I told you I'm trying to promote the show.
Okay. Back to business. Jacob, you're really fooling around today.
I am.
I want you to take this show seriously.
It's got so
But
many.
this show's a joke.
This show is a joke. I can't believe it.
It is a joke.
What's going to happen when there's no Noel and we've got clones of Jacob here only?
It's going to be a nightmare.
We're not going to get anything done.
No. Could you imagine if this
gonna hear
show was
laughing.
hosted by two Jacobs? It would be a lot of things thrown out, and then the other guy would be like, I don't know. And he'd be like, I don't know. I don't know. We always relied on the other guy to
You'll
have
both
the
be scrolling through, like, panicking through your
I have the article right here. It's right here, I swear. Well, let me look over here. It would just be scrolling. So anyway,
It would be
Doom
hilarious.
scrolling.
there would be
a hilarious
lot
show,
of
though.
jokes.
Yes,
A lot of jokes.
All right. We have this been too tangential.
Too tangential?
It's almost not worth it. Almost.
Okay.
Almost not
All
worth
right. Back to business. Resource management. The 2021 Olympics have a goal of producing zero waste. So they did.
Well, they are doing that.
Yeah.
That's a huge. I don't think that can't be. Well, it was going to be really hard.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as hard anymore.
Well, it's still.
but
let's
it
give
was
them credit
going
for
to
it.
be incredibly hard, and that
Yeah.
was like you can't understate that how complicated it is to make it so that you have a zero waste Olympics. That means that everything that anybody brings in cannot get into a landfill.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And we've seen that on a small scale. Like when we went to Green Conference,
Yeah.
we saw the Zero Waste Initiative, and we're talking like maybe 1,500 people, you
Yeah.
know, or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and that was quite a challenge.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine
Just
for the...
think of dust on your shoes,
Right.
that you sweep up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You have zero waste.
Zero waste.
So you've got to so all the dust that's on the shoes, we have to now put that as part of the compost, perhaps, to make some. And the amount of composting you'd be doing is insane.
Yeah.
You can't have anything that you're serving food on that you can't keep out of a landfill, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everything that when people are buying drinks or buying food or buying like all of that, none of that can go into a landfill.
This is a Gattaca situation here.
It's like I think that. Because we've had to do it with in Latin America we've had to do it, and it's funny when you think about just one factory, like you can't have any waste. Everything like that's, and it's a sustainable development goal is kind of like a goal that you go for to have a zero waste facility. So a zero waste Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even
imagine.
fathom the amount of time and energy and thought that would go into making sure that nothing you create would end up in a landfill.
Yeah.
Because everything, and then nothing anyone else brings in ends up in a landfill. Like if someone forgets a shirt, or like you have to either get it back, or you've got to find a place to repurpose that, to upcycle that.
Yeah.
It's rad if you think about it. But it's
rad.
like, and it's again something that in Japan they're well suited for because they're ahead of the curve so far on doing it.
Yeah.
But what a cool thing! Like it's another reason why I'm bummed out that there aren't more people
that
going,
get to
because
experience
it would
it,
have been
yeah.
such a cool thing to see them do it, because I know they would have.
Yeah. I agree. And they don't count toots as waste. So
No.
the
That
athletes
is
are free to toot
Cows,
as freely.
humans, all the rest of us, far away.
Far away, because here's the thing: those athletes are going to be having a lot of fiber just to kind of get through the whole event.
And eggs.
And eggs.
And bananas.
And bananas. So many bananas. So much potassium. So much potassium. So
You need potassium. It gets hot out there. It's
So
summertime.
toot away, Olympians. And everybody knows that Olympians toot the best.
Oh, yeah,
Gold
yeah.
medal toots.
Gold
I'm
medal.
going to tell my friend he's
Powerful.
going to the Olympics.
Really?
Your friend's going?
Yeah, he's a runner. I think he's doing the 4x100.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love how chill you've been about dropping that fact right here on the Olympics episode. You've got a friend going.
Yeah. He's
amazing.
a runner.
Did we just break our computer
We
again?
just did it's just the feedback.
That's so awesome, Elise. That's what an incredible accomplishment.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I ran track with him in high school.
Really?
Wow. When he gets
So-
when he gets back, he's going to be insufferable.
Yeah.
Like he's going to come back and he's be like, "Well, I went to the Olympics, so whatever." You know what I mean?
We'll see how
what have you done?
Yeah, we'll see how he thinks of how sustainable it was.
Yeah. Actually,
We should have him on the show.
would you mind maybe reaching out to him, and just once he returns, we should have him maybe do like a follow up, like even just a
Yeah.
little guest spot. I think that would be really cool to hear about what it
he
was
would
like.
definitely love that.
Yeah.
He would love that.
We got
Let's
an
do it.
on the ground
I can't believe it. On the ground correspondent coming back to show us, tell us what the most sustainable Olympics in history were
Yeah,
like.
because I've never known an Olympian. Have you ever known an Olympian?
Some soccer players.
Some soccer players,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Because where I used to live, there was this restaurant, and this was over in like the La Cañada area. There
Yeah.
was a girl who was a gymnast, I believe, from that area for a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like maybe like 2 Olympics ago.
Okay.
But they had her picture hanging up in the restaurant. Anyway,
Really?
yeah. So I can't remember her name, but she was a big
A La
American.
Cañada Olympian.
Or a La Crescenta, maybe up that way.
Okay,
Up that way.
okay.
She was up that way.
Very cool.
But I've never known an Olympian.
I'll go. Which store did you go to? I'll
It
look
was
at the...
Los Gringos. It was
I'll
the
look.
restaurant.
I'll bet. Maybe I do. I don't know.
You might recognize. Yeah. Anyway. All right, on to the next. Natural environment and biodiversity. The games will contribute to Tokyo's idea of city within nature and nature within city.
Oh.
So I don't know what that means. If there's just a lot of green stuff everywhere.
City
There's trees planted, but
nature within city.
Yeah, just kind of embracing.
Did they put any more on is there any more details on that, or is it
No,
just...
it just says it's all part of the sustainable sourcing code by the Olympics Committee. So games will contribute to Tokyo's idea of city within nature, nature within city. So
I mean,
we can ask our friend when he gets back.
City within nature, nature within city. I mean, that's kind of
cool.
what. Well, you look at I don't know if it's
was a great
exactly the
burp.
same.
That
Thank
was
you.
a
I was
great-
trying to hide it and I couldn't because I was middle talking.
Oh my
Choking on his own
goodness.
words.
Yeah. Oh. That's not counted as waste, Olympic Committee. So Noel's allowed to belch.
Blurch.
Blurch.
Okay. That was all terrible.
No,
this
it was great.
entire show is ruined.
No, it's not. They
Start
love
over.
it. They're
Or
all
start-
still
start
here.
over. Start
Yeah,
over.
they're
Nobody's
here.
left. Nobody's left. They're,
They're
all
all
here.
here.
Yeah.
Oh, do we have
We
more?
got some comments.
Oh, we do.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
well, let me finish how gross this was.
Okay.
Well, I don't even know what you're talking about. This show's a joke. Oh, in London, they have this whole because back in the 50s or 40s, maybe it was the 40s.
Yeah.
They had so much smog in the city that came in with the fog that it trapped in, and people died because
Yeah.
there was so much.
Really?
Yeah, so much air pollution within the city. So they
Wow.
changed the rules, where you have to have a green bar. You have to have green going outside. You can't just have city building on forever like you do in Los Angeles, where
Wow.
Los Angeles connects to Orange County, connects basically to San Diego. There's a
Right.
not quite, but almost, and how it just keeps on going. They don't do that in England anymore because it's people die.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So you have these green bars where you have woods and trees and grass and
you have to
land,
split things up.
You have to split up cities. You can't just have everything in
I wish we would do
spot.
that.
We should do that. But this is interesting because you talk about nature within city, city within nature.
Yeah.
Why not? If you plan your city right, you should be able to have nature all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Like in New York, they have Central Park, which is like this random.
Yeah.
It's like a forest and grass
Yeah.
in the middle of the concrete jungle.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could totally incorporate that into the entire
Exactly.
city, right?
Exactly.
That's really great. So if that's what that's my assumption is that's what they're doing. It's like, how do we get nature into the city?
It's like Jeff Goldblum said, nature finds a way. It finds a way.
He did in Jurassic Park.
In Jurassic Park, he said-
very important.
Yeah.
Nature finds
Finds a way.
way.
You have to pause. Yeah, it's key. Anyway, Elise.
I don't know if he
Yeah.
doesn't know his lines or if he just that's
No,
what
it's
he
just a
does.
Goldblum.
Yeah.
I think that's just
Do you
him.
think that it is a Goldblum because at first he didn't know his lines? And so
Yeah,
he was just
probably.
Like,
well, I think like Walken and Shatner and Goldblum, I think that their cadence, you wonder, were they just young actors and somebody was like, hey, I really love how you did that. And they're like,
that was a choice.
I meant to do that. That's my acting style.
That was a choice.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. But Elise,
Yeah.
what are the comments that we're getting right now?
Derek says he's here, but he now has to go.
Oh.
He was at work listening.
Okay, well, hey, thanks for popping out during your workday and chilling with us for a little bit, Derek.
Yeah.
We're glad you were here.
Green Paper Products.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
It's okay.
It doesn't say. It says you are fantastic.
Oh.
Richard Thalman.
Yes. Good friend.
Easy Diesel, 10 even Thomas needed Sir Toppin hat. It's what makes the show work.
Did he have a stroke?
I don't know what he's saying. Maybe you can you see?
Easy Diesel 10 even Thomas needed Sir Toppin hat. It's what makes the show work.
I don't know. Rich, you might have to elaborate on that. It sounds very cryptic, and I don't know.
Is Richard? Do we need to send help? Is someone holding him with a gun? Like
Richard,
my
are you?
hostage?
Richard, blink twice if you're okay. Oh wait, we can't see that in the comments. I don't know what that meant.
And Pup says, without Noel, your show would be a train wreck like mine. I'm so sorry you had to read that. I'm pretty sure your show's not a train wreck.
Pup is a friend, and that's a good joke because yes, if it was just There's a reason we are the yin and yang of podcast hosts. We balance each other out. If this show was run by me, it wouldn't get anything done. And if it was only run by Noel, then it wouldn't get anything done. No, I don't know what
promote a lot.
We would promote. How dare you? Oh, I set myself up for that one.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I think no. We wouldn't have topics.
Yeah, no. I have an idea. It wouldn't be that we wouldn't have topics, but
we wouldn't.
We would probably spend too much time on like just digging into one thing. Maybe you'd just go.
And his analogies.
I know. I would be all analogies. I would be like an endless
so we're on the boat in the tunnel of love, which was a 20-minute.
Which would then in the middle of it would remind me of a Snoopy episode I once watched, and then that would get, and then God, by the end of the show you'd be like, what were we talking about?
Yeah, that's it.
That's what would happen.
That's it.
Yeah. So
all right.
No, but Pup is wrong. Her show is terrific.
Your show is terrific.
She can't call her show a train wreck.
Yes.
You should listen to.
You should definitely check it out. So,
all right.
All right. Human rights, labor, and fair business practices. The Olympics Committee plans to follow the UN's guiding principles on business and human rights. So they're just going to make sure that everybody's taken well care of, that the labor is not being exploited, that they're following those guidelines as well.
And which is an easy thing to do, right? Because you're probably hiring there's a lot of volunteers, probably a lot of minimum wage workers, probably a lot of people who are doing it so they can be involved in the Olympics.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which it's easy when that happens to for people to get overrun, to be taken advantage of, to have things go wrong because they want so badly to be involved, they'll do anything.
Yeah.
So that's really important. That's a nice aspect. That's good.
And then the last one, and then we'll go into the article that was kind of which I'm building it up to be negative, but it's not that bad.
Well, it's just like, I'm so excited about the Olympics. That's going on. I wish that they had more recycling, but it's great though.
Yeah. So the last one was involvement, cooperation, and communications. The committee wants the games to be open to everyone. So I guess that.
I think that continues on with a pretty.
I think
that's been an Olympic thing for
a long time.
Yeah, for a while. I mean, in Nazi Germany, right? When Jesse Owens, right, who won the
right.
I mean, the Olympics have been open
to everyone,
even when you had Nazis around.
Even when you had Nazis, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they're doing better now than they were, but that is the whole point. Like, Olympics is supposed to be for the whole world, for everybody.
World.
Yeah,
open arms.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, so here's the article, and it comes from NPR.
Yeah,
and the title is,
of course,
even with cardboard beds.
Wait.
Yeah.
I want you to read it like you're an NPR host.
You want to hear it like an NPR host?
I want you to be an NPR host for this one.
Okay, everybody, I'm getting into character. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, right now we're going to talk about that. Even with cardboard beds and recycled metals, Olympics take flack over the environment. Up next.
Oh my God.
Good.
You sound like Art LeBeau.
That was excellent, Jacob. Wow. This is what Jacob brings to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So that was so this guy kind of goes on to say, oh shoot, I just feedback the mic again. So Vamp, any more comments?
Yeah, so we constantly break everything in the show.
So the addition of parks that would help the Olympics.
Yeah. Oh, the addition of parks?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say because more planting trees and having, people being outdoors, right?
Yeah. Well, thinking with that, and you think about how a tree, we just need to get more trees out there in general. Like, there shouldn't be a street that isn't lined with trees. They should all have trees.
I agree.
It just doesn't matter where you are, where you're living. They should all have trees. It should just be part of the
everywhere.
Deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Carry on, but no trees that work for the area, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember we went to the Green Biz in Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
And you think like we're planting trees here. Like, how's a tree even going to live here? But the trees we planted, and we mentioned this on an earlier show, the bark of the tree itself photosynthesizes. It's green.
Yeah.
So you don't. It's like you don't. When it's too hot, it doesn't produce the leaves. It just gets the.
It was perfect for that.
Yes, for that
location.
climate, it worked. It could. So you just find out what that is in your area, and you put them everywhere.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
No, you're right. You're right. So anyway, it just while much of the world, especially the Japanese public, worries that the Tokyo Olympics could become a coronavirus super spreader event, the organizers have not only pledged the games will be safe from the pandemic, even barring spectators at venues in the capital and several other cities, they are also eager to promote these Olympics as the most eco-friendly games ever. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
So there's all these environmental groups that are applauding it, but then of course some analysts are coming along and they're saying, "Oh, this is just greenwash," and I just don't think that's fair.
Do they have examples of why it's how they're greenwashing?
So their biggest argument that I saw was that everybody's flying in for this Olympics.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Right. But like the idea, even the athletes or anybody to coordinate or press or news, just that the traveling there. And this is one of those instances that I just kind of go, the world continues to go on. You know what I mean? Like the Olympics committee invested in carbon credits to offset it. They invested 150%, like overshot the moon in terms of what people are going to be spending in travel and carbon emissions to get there in order to compensate for it. And people are like, well, that's not enough. It's still happening. So this is one of those things that kind of annoys me because I go, hey, we got to go places, man.
Look,
right?
I mean, for whatever reason, we humans evolved here.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Yeah.
That was what nature decided was important, was to evolve engineering minds with opposable thumbs that continue to want to create and change their environment around them.
Yeah.
That's what nature did.
Right.
If nature decides that that's no longer useful and kills us off, then we'll die. Okay? That's the bummer run.
Yeah.
But I don't think it
true.
will, because part of what we do is continue to innovate and continue to create new things and to change the way we do things. Not only that, look at how hard we're policing ourselves right now. Look at how much interest there is in environment. Look at how you can spend all this energy, time, and focus to improve the Olympics, and still there's a butthole complaining.
Yeah. There's always a butthole complaining.
That's my... Still, there's somebody complaining.
Yeah.
That it's not enough. We police ourselves... Like, no, do you think that lions would care?
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, lions don't do what we do. They don't engineer us, and I get all that, right?
Yeah.
But there's like, we also...
Well, did you see Madagascar? They do all those things.
Oh, I forgot. That was a great documentary.
That's a great documentary that really shows how some animals can travel around the world.
Around the world.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, the giraffe and the hippo and the
hippo,
lion. And the
they're
penguins.
all best friends.
They became best friends. They can all get along.
Incredibly powerful documentary narrated by Richard Attenborough.
Richard Attenborough knew what he was doing when he followed those animals around the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, to your point.
Multiple documentaries.
Yes, multiple. Yeah. There's 3 at least.
At least. And
I think
a Christmas special.
That documentary has a Christmas special?
No, but my point is like is we do the Olympics for a million other reasons, right?
Yeah.
The Olympics are a uniting event where everybody on Earth comes together and decides we're going to have peace.
Yeah.
And we're going to send our youth, our athletes, to go
and
compete against one another,
to see who's the better country.
To see who's the best.
See who dominates and is better than everybody else.
No, but and you see random countries winning their random. That's
one of the best things about the Olympics is when you see that country that has 9 people.
Yes.
That wins.
Yes, but they win.
They win.
And then even when you're rooting for America or Australia, in my case, I often do, and you're watching, you hope they win, but then somebody from Belarus wins the medal, and you see them
crying
standing up
and
there,
just like
they're playing their national anthem because they won in front of the whole world.
Yeah.
And they cry and and it's like a lifetime achievement. Yeah. And you go, this is what we need to remind each other about. This is how we have to remember that we're all just trying to make it work. Most people out here are pretty great.
Yeah.
They're trying to do the right thing. They're trying to be good people, right? They're this person worked just as hard as anybody from anywhere else to win this medal and have this moment. And it's a beautiful thing to see someone who looks different, who's from somewhere different, who speaks a different language, have that same experience that you recognize in your own Olympian.
Preach it, Noel.
And if that costs some airline emissions, go yourself.
That one I'm going to have to bleep.
But that's just how I feel about it.
I get it. I admire your passion.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. I know.
We invented an airplane.
Yeah.
It's an emissions disaster. I get it.
All right.
We can fix the airplane. Let's take time to fix the airplane. But in the meantime, let's not hate each other more by getting rid of events where we care about each other because, there's airplane emissions.
Yeah, I know.
Shut up.
See, this is why we are the yin and the yang of the show. I agree with you very much. And even the energy project leader at the World Wildlife Fund Japan, Masako Konishi, she said, The Olympic Sustainability Committee acknowledges some parts of the game's sustainability plan are better than others. So she's saying, look, we're doing our best. We're doing our best over here.
And the effort shows that it will only improve.
Yes, exactly. This is, like you said, this is the most sustainable Olympics in history. One, because they did the work up front, and then also nobody's going. But anyway, you're right, and that was my frustration with this article too. Was here's this effort: cardboard beds, recycled metals out of computers to make the metals for everybody, recycled podiums, zero waste, energy is all renewable. These are awesome
Paying
things
for
to
the
do.
offsets means that somebody somewhere is doing something to create negative emissions elsewhere, or to remove to remove carbon from the environment somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
So yes, no, maybe you could say it's not enough. Maybe we could do better. Yes, we can always do better.
We can always
do better. I acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's even being thought of matters.
Yeah. I agree.
It matters.
I think it sets a precedent, and I think that when you have people that look at this and then go, yeah, well, I mean, it's still a global event where everybody's traveling, and that's not good for the environment. There's at some point in time, that's a situation where I also look at it and I go, I think that we have to continue as a society and people to interact with each other, to have these global events, because that keeps us at peace with nations, that keeps us communicating, that keeps our trade open so that the world functions together like a heart. We beat together.
We're very fortunate in that we haven't had a worldwide war
In a long time.
that has taken out 50 million people.
Right.
Or maybe it's 20 million. We'll fix that.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'll bleep that too.
Yeah. Millions and millions and millions of people die in these gigantic wars that we have had throughout history.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
The way people treat each other when you're at war, when there's actually that much hatred that you're actually trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
It's so good that we can't imagine it anymore.
Yeah.
It's so great. But the problem with the fact that we can't imagine it is we don't realize the importance of how we keep ourselves from doing that.
Right. And Olympics
that requires us to interact with each other.
Yeah.
That requires us to know each other. That requires us to talk to each other.
Yeah. And if you don't watch the Olympics, which that's fine. I didn't for many, many years. I used to just kind of skip it and it wasn't really my thing because I'm not an athlete. I'm not somebody who participates in games like that. But I remember one of the first times I was at the time working for NBC Universal and we produced the Olympics.
Yeah.
And so I sat down and watched the opening ceremonies.
Yeah.
And that is just a delight.
It is.
It's just a wonderful, I found myself teary-eyed. I found myself moved. And I was like, why have I been missing out on this? And to your point, it's an important event that brings us all together. And so I think that is there is value in that more than people are giving credit for when it comes to airplane emissions.
Well, just turn it on. Watch it. Watch the things that you think don't matter. Watch the opening ceremonies and just see what the light looks like in someone's eyes when they're walking around in that stadium at the Olympics.
Yeah.
At the thing they've spent their whole life trying to get into.
Their whole life trying to get to.
Or the little interviews before and after and the little specials, what do they, I forget what they call them.
Madagascar Christmas special.
The Madagascar Christmas special they put before every event. Right. No, like the cutaways that they do where they tell about somebody's life before and after. And it's the humanity of it.
Yeah.
It's another thing that we evolved one way or another. Whether you can't say we weren't supposed to because we did.
Yeah.
If we weren't supposed to, then it'll go away at some point. And if it does, then it does.
Yeah.
Okay. But humanity, the way that we feel about each other, the way we talk to each other is part of what we're supposed to be because that's how we evolved.
Right. Yeah. I agree 100%. So that's it. I was done reading because that's really the article was like, yeah, they're doing all these great things. And then they had that one poo-poo comment. But I'd say let's finish strong and talk about what's our favorite Olympic event to watch.
Well, but I like Winter Olympics.
You like it even more?
A little more. Yeah,
Okay.
I love them both.
Yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
gymnastics is obviously a big deal. My daughter's a gymnast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get very into gymnastics with her. We watch those, and it's a lot of fun to do. So I probably would say gymnastics in the summertime just because of that. I like swimming too. Swimming's kind of fun, but I would say gymnastics for me. Excuse me. And then in Winter Olympics, I love.
Yeah.
I love all this. I love all of it.
All of
Ski
it.
jumping is just like watching somebody fly along forever. It's just so fun.
So cool.
It's crazy, right?
So
Or,
cool.
or like some of the new snowboarding events they have, or like the things where like they've got so many cool skiing. The things people do on skis, it just blows my mind.
Oh, it's incredible. Do they still shoot? Is there still?
Yes.
That's still a thing, right?
Yes. Biathlon, I think
where
it's
you
called.
where you ski and then you shoot.
You ski and you shoot. Yeah.
That one always cracks me up. Yeah, it's a
never
real.
seen that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you do cross-country skiing. So you have to go like a huge long-distance cross-country skiing. And then after every lap that you do, they have targets set up and you have to get down and you have to accurately hit. You have 5 shots and you have to try to hit the bullseye every single time. And every
That's
time you
so
miss one,
intricate.
Yeah, isn't it?
well, you
It's-
lose seconds every time you miss. They'll make
Right.
you hold back so that you fall farther and farther behind. And if you are able to keep your focus about you when you're tired after doing all the skiing and then hit all the targets, you don't have to wait. You can just go.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating,
it's-
right?
I
That's
mean,
crazy.
It's fun. Like
really anybody's game.
yeah, it is. Yeah, you have to know how to do both. It's
Yeah.
such a funny thing. You wouldn't think it's a good event, but it's so fun to watch.
Yeah, and I feel like it's where you could spot, like, you would be able to figure out who's James Bond in training. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
it's such a spy gift.
Yeah.
You know, like, I've got to cross country ski and then shoot a target at a faraway
Oh my
range.
God, they
No,
need to
I
do it in
don't
the
work
suit.
for the CIA. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm definitely not really good at these 2 very specific things that I would have to do to take out a target. Anyway.
Because I'm pretty sure they don't have the sticks if they're skiing, huh? And they're
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
all
Well, they
that.
put the gun in a little like He-Man pouch behind them, and then
Yeah.
they pull out their poles and they go.
There you go.
Yep.
That's how they do it. You know what would be cool is if they built the gun into the ski poles.
Right.
Hey, how about that?
That's like a Tarantino movie. You know, it's
Yeah.
like he was a cross country skier who had been pushed over the limit.
That's amazing.
Once upon a time in Switzerland. Anyway, so
So how about you, Elise? What's your
Elise.
favorite?
I would say diving.
yeah,
diving.
Diving is cool.
Those ones always get me.
Yeah.
And like the swimming, the routine. I don't
Yeah.
know what it's called, but the routine swimming.
oh, where they
the
all
synchronized
the
one?
synchronized
the
swimming.
synchronized swimming.
Oh yeah,
that is so cool.
It's crazy.
it is
It's amazing.
crazy.
I don't know. I would feel like I would drown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, have
Doing
you
all
ever
that.
you ever tried it? Because I remember, yeah,
Yes.
when you get your head underwater and your legs are up, it's like I can't keep
I
myself.
can't possibly know what's going on right
No,
now.
and they're perfect.
And they're
I
just
know.
throwing themselves around,
Yeah,
like
so smooth.
torso out of water. And how are you doing that?
Yeah.
I know.
I
It's
know.
remarkable.
People don't understand how strong these Olympians are.
I know.
Just insanely strong. Every one of them is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me personally, I fell in love with the swimming events
Yeah.
when we were going through the whole Phelps phase.
Yeah, yeah.
When that was all happening, I just got fascinated. And at the time I was swimming a lot. I was myself swimming a lot. And so I was fascinated with watching the way the human body could move like a fish. Like, I mean, just the
Just
way the
go.
legs
Yeah.
were going like this and just witnessing that speed and focus. I remember just being really into that category. So I feel like I got to, now that I have, you know, that was an era when Phelps was winning. I feel like I got to look for a new one to really get jazzed about.
Well, I like swimming because Australia is always good at swimming.
Yeah.
So that's where we get all of our medals. Pretty
Yeah.
much is swimming.
Good swimmers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're surrounded by ocean.
Yeah. That's true. Everywhere you look, it's a place to swim.
Yep.
But anyway, guys, that was Green Olympics. That was 2020 sustainability at Tokyo Olympics.
Okay.
So,
Do we have any last minute any new comments? Or are we all good?
yeah, anybody
they're all
say
done?
anything? Everybody's just been completely riveted by the content
Yeah,
here
so
at the end.
riveted. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us both on
Yes.
Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. It was
Yes.
really, really wonderful to have you all on the show. We're going to be doing this every week if
Yes.
we can, except not on guest weeks, right? Because the guest
Yeah,
ones we
guest
can't do.
weeks, whenever, if you guys didn't know this who are tuning in now, when we have a guest on the show, our complication is our guest is usually over Zoom. And just with the amount of plugs and microphones and everything, we cannot get the guest to be on the live also while we're also recording. And also, it's not really fair to have somebody come on the show and let them know that they have no chance of not having their words just be presented live. So we always want to give our guests a chance to just do the interview and
we get better guests by
not doing that part.
by
live.
not doing that. You'll know. I mean, we always go live to tape, and we end up putting it all up anyway
Yeah, we do.
because they're always good interviews. But
Yeah.
it makes the guests more comfortable to know that if they've made some big mistake, that
that it's not like everybody's watching and they're like, oh
Yeah.
no, what did I say?
yeah.
So anyway, that's it. So we are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Carefully avoiding neonicotinoids.
We are the Siegfried and Roy and Meryl Streep of podcasts.
This show is a joke.
never believe.
Step 1, chill out.
Wow. Look at us flying through this time.
Until then,
Spilling the teeth since 2019.
we'll be continuing to reproduce Jacobs as long as we have a show.
Biofriendly Podcast 2020.
That we're just making them up?
Yeah, we're just making them up now.
Yeah,
No, I think
okay.
because we reached the end, because there was there's like one or two more, but our rule was always if it doesn't really stick,
Then
Yeah.
it wasn't.
then it
great.
wasn't worthy. It was just kind of an in the moment thing if it doesn't last.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, guys, make sure you subscribe to the Biofriendly Podcast. Make sure you're checking out all the stuff we're putting out on Biofriendly Planet. We love having your support. We love it when you talk about the show with your friends and your family and you say,
Yeah,
it's
tell
quite
people about it.
possibly the best show I've ever seen in my life. You should be following it too. So we've got some exciting guests coming.
That helps a lot.
It does.
You know, when you, there's a lot of people who find the show, they find it because somebody told them
Somebody
about the
told
show.
them.
It's word of mouth is the most effective way for people to find out about us and to now save the environment because you
Yes.
know more than you do before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So until next time,
Cheerio.
Bye.
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.